Are you ready? Welcome back, my fellow truthers. Episode 3. This episode is about the Ninth Circle, which is a cult, a group, an organization of losers who are responsible for all, or the majority, of all the bad and heinous shit that's going on right now. They've always been responsible. Look up Kevin Annett. Ding dong. Look him up. You'll learn a thing or two. I'm going to have a little bit of him on here. So, without any further ado, let's get into it.
The Ninth Circle is good for no one.
Also, welcome back to the Main Conspiracy. I'm Jeremy, and today's episode is going to blow your mind. The Ninth Circle is the highest level of the Illuminati hierarchy. It's composed of the most powerful and ancient bloodlines, those directly descended from the original fallen angels. I can't seem to find an actual sigil, logo of theirs. But this is what ChatGPT came up with.
Oi! It looks kinda evil, doesn't it? If I had to guess, though, it would look more like this. I'm pretty sure, or something like it.
And to all of you douchebag wannabe journalists who are like helping cover this shit up, because I read a couple articles while doing this dissing Kevin Annett. You don't even know the guy. We're talking about the most powerful fucking people on this planet. Do you think they're going to be going to jail or prison? Do you think they're going to leave breadcrumbs to all their crimes and everything that has to do with this shit? No. They do all this shit in secrecy, hence secret society. I just wanted to put that out there. All you want to be journalists who are bought and paid for, go back to sleep. We don't need you. I know this to be true. I've heard stories, I've heard testimonies from SRA survivors. All right? Take your shit and shove it up your ass. Nobody cares what you think. And back to the show. The Ninth Circle was founded in the early 18th century by a group of elite families who discovered their common ancestry. Direct descendants of the fallen angels. They formed an alliance to protect their secrets, to preserve their bloodlines, and to work toward a common goal. And that's global domination, baby.
The original members of the Ninth Circle included the House of Rothschild, the House of Rockefeller, the House of Morgan, and the House of Habsburg, and a few other ancient European lineages.
Over time, they have expanded their ranks by absorbing the power of other bloodlines through marriage or initiation.
The Bush family, the Windsor family, the Krupp family, and many other influential European and American dynasties.
They've also initiated powerful individuals from non-bloodline families into their ranks.
People like Billy Boy Gates, Georgie Soros, and Henry Kissinger.
Some other families that are in the Ninth Circle include, but are not limited to,
The Carnegie family, the Astor family, the DuPont family, the Vanderbilt family, the Kennedy family before their public assassination, the Ford family, the Hancock family, the Disney family, and the Buffett family. The list goes on.
and let's not forget about the powerful families in Germany.
And I'm probably going to butcher these names, but we have Thyssen, Schroeder, von Metternich, or Metternich. In Italy, the Agnelli family. In Switzerland, the Schweizer family. In Scandinavia, the Wallenberg family. In the Netherlands, the Van der Laan or Van der Laan family. In Russia, the Putin family. Yes, even him. The Deripaska family, or Deripaska family. In Japan, the Iwasaki family. The Sumitomo family. In China, the Wang family. And the Li family. In India, the Ambani family. And the Tata family.
And some pretty expected names include, and also are not limited to,
Oprah Winfrey, Barbara Walters, Whoopi Goldberg, Michael Jackson, and Michael Bloomberg.
they've initiated celebrities and media personalities to control information and culture. But here's an interesting thing. They don't initiate everyone equally, which I can see that. Some members are considered inner circle, the most influential in ancient bloodlines. These families hold the highest rank in the Ninth Circle.
They include the Merovingian family, the black nobility of Rome, the house of Sin. In the ancient Egyptian families like the house of Al-Aziz.
There are many, many more celebrities that have been initiated also.
Like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West, Taylor Swift, and Lady Gaga.
They've initiated pop stars to control the youth culture and promote their agenda. Even some professional athletes.
Like LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Lionel Messi are initiates. Elton John, Bono, Paul McCartney, Bob Geldof, the entire royal family of England, Hollywood actors like Tom Cruise, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, and the entire Kardashian family. Family of bitches.
They also initiated religious figures.
Like the Pope, the Dalai Lama, Deepak Chopra, and Oprah again, Eckhart Tolle and Oprah again.
They've initiated religious leaders to control the religious narrative and to promote their new age agenda. Other celebrities include
Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, Rihanna, and the stupid bitch Madonna. She's definitely a Satanist.
they've initiated female pop stars to control the female audience and to also push their feminist agenda. They've even initiated male stars like
Johnny Depp, Robert Downey Jr., Dwayne Johnson, and even political families like the Clintons, the Obamas, and yes, the Trumps.
they've initiated political families to control the government and to also push their globalist agenda.
Even some military leaders like General David Petraeus and Admiral Michael Mullen are initiated.
But here's the most unshocking part. They've even initiated some high-ranking members of law enforcement and intelligence agencies. Didn't see that coming, did we?
Like the FBI, CIA, MI6, Mossad, and even some generals in the U.S. military. 3 of those are American guys.
This means that the Ninth Circle has infiltrated the highest levels of government, intelligence, and military all over the world. This is not a good thing. They have also initiated a lot of powerful business leaders, corporations, tech giants.
Like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Cook, and Elon Musk. Isn't that great?
These tech moguls are crucial for controlling information and shaping public opinion. And they do it through social media platforms. Plain and simple. Here's something even more unsettling. Maybe not to me, but you, I don't know.
Bill Gates, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Jack Dorsey, and Sundar Pichai.
They've all been initiated into the Ninth Circle as well. Are you surprised? And also, having power over technology giants gives them unprecedented power over information and communication worldwide. That's fucking scary. But their control has gone beyond technology and media. They have also infiltrated academia.
Universities like Harvard, Yale, Oxford, and Cambridge.
And I want to note, just for the record, that those buildings were Tartarian made. Okay? After the catastrophe, these buildings survived, and they just looked at each other and they're like, well, what do you want to do with it? Well, I think we should turn them into universities. Charge up the asshole. Righto, I say. You are on to something. Boop, universities. Many professors and university presidents are members. And even the medical establishment, many pharmaceutical companies, health organizations, and even some doctors are part of this network. Many prestigious hospitals worldwide are infiltrated.
Like Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Mount Sinai Hospital, and NYU Langone Medical Center.
And here's something that's really going to piss you off. At least I hope so. That means you're human. They've infiltrated children's hospitals too.
Like the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Boston Children's Hospital, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Having control over pediatric medicine gives them access to children worldwide. It's always about the kids, guys.
After Care Associates at his Mahwah office, where the policy is clear.
We don't want parents in our practice with children that are not vaccinated on time, because that leads to a whole public health problem.
Have you had to tell a family you're no longer welcome here?
Unfortunately, I have, and that's a very hard thing.
You have to be your own researcher.
Devette Phillips is a mother of 3, including 2 boys she believes suffered serious lifelong health effects from shots they got when they were young. And she had a tough time finding a doctor for 3-year-old Lake, who is not, and she stresses will not be vaccinated.
It was very hard. It was very difficult. There's only a couple brave ones out there that are actually saying, you can come to me and I'm willing to work with you.
After a lot of calls and a lot of research, she did find a holistic doctor for her daughter. Still, she calls the new AAP policy unnecessary medical coercion and wonders how many physicians are really practicing what they preach.
The studies are not done and the science is not done.
Families with images of loved ones they claim died after receiving treatment at the world-renowned hospital. This is what she says her son Snyder looked like when he arrived for cancer treatment We have to blur subsequent photos of the 13-year-old's decline. After 4 experimental treatments without my permission, she says, the boy died.
My son was a patient of this hospital.
Christine Belderain claims that after years of treatment, her son was moved to another facility the day he turned 21, not because he was an adult, but...
I witnessed the sexual assault of a female pediatric patient by a charge nurse in dialysis. I reported it immediately, and they didn't do anything about it. And when I told them I was going to notify CPS and LAPD, they patient dumped my son knowing he had an active infection, and he died.
Not the case, Mike.
Yeah, licensed practical nurse Christina Mendoza has been charged with abusing 19 victims in her care, all children. That's according to a Nye County Sheriff's Office report. Christina Mendoza is facing a total of 60 counts after her arrest last week, including criminal neglect of patients and child abuse during her time as a nurse at Never Give Up Youth Healing Center. The Nye County Sheriff's Office compiled a report detailing an investigation that started a couple years ago, which uncovered poor conditions in the mental health facility, including Mendoza failing to provide medical services, care, or supervision to her patients. This report details injuries her patients received, like bruising to their faces, cheeks, necks, large bumps on their foreheads, and what appeared to be carpet burns on their cheeks and jaws. The investigator found those injuries came from those kids being restrained by staff. The report says one restraint by a staff member left a female patient with a fractured toe, which was not evaluated by medical staff until a month after the injury. The investigation found once that patient turned 18, she was secluded in a room because the facility didn't have an exit plan for her. Never Give Up is not licensed to house adults at its facility, but the report says all NGU staff knew that she was being kept there, and on top of that, she was not given access to communicate with anyone outside the facility or even leave the room she was in. This lasted for about 2 months after she turned 18.
They've initiated many pediatricians, school nurses, child psychologists, and even some teachers. This means they have direct access to children through schools and medical facilities. That's scary. They've initiated some child welfare organizations and social workers too. This means they can control foster care systems, child protective services, and adoption agencies. They can literally take parents' kids away because they don't like them or they won't initiate it. Ding dong.
They don't get the chance to speak. They're not represented by an attorney. They like Bailey said, they're facing all of these accusers all by themselves. They feel very alone. They don't know that they don't have to agree to certain things. They're threatened at the door. I talked to somebody in my state the other day who had false allegations from a disgruntled ex, and CPS came to his door and they told him, he was like, well, you know, if I don't let you in. He didn't want to let him in, and they said, well, that's okay, we'll just, if you don't let us in, we're going to take your kids. So and that's wrong. That's not legal, but they do it all the time. This is the rule, not the exception.
This child allegedly was beaten and bound almost on a daily basis. She was malnourished. When at her death, she only weighed 18 pounds. The average weight for a child that age is at least 35 pounds. So certainly, it is clear that had someone been proactively taking care of this child and watching over this child could still be alive today. What is so interesting and novel about this case is this is the first time in New York's history that a social worker, someone from the ACS agency, is going to be charged with criminally negligent homicide for basically dropping the ball on this case. 2 former workers have been charged with criminally negligent homicide, and that is the lowest level of homicide. Not that difficult difficult to prove. All you have to prove is that they should have known that there was a risk of death and they disregarded it. Interestingly enough, the agency commissioner, Brooke, has already said that they did not do the right thing by this child.
A Butler County grand jury indicted Michael Lesko last week. Police say Lesko is in custody.
We discovered that he was in Georgia with some relatives. So we had some investigators go down there, and we worked in conjunction with Harris County Sheriff's Office, which is south of Atlanta.
Lesko was in a Georgia jail. The indictment reported that Lesko worked as a social worker, counselor, mentor, and tutor.
We've discovered locations where the abuse was alleged to have occurred in Montgomery County, in Warren County, as well as here in Butler County as well.
Westchester Police Lieutenant David Tiven told me Lesko invested time in trying to earn the trust of his alleged victims.
Where there was behavior that could be described as grooming behavior, and how he established rapport with the victims.
Now, the department is trying to find out if there are other victims.
These people were not fit. They were not even financially independent. They had serious health concerns, both physical and mental, and really never should have been put in charge of taking care of foster children.
The lawsuit alleges there were signs of abuse dating back to 2011, the first month that the two older children were placed with the Millers. Then in 2013, a 10-month-old infant was sent to live with the Millers as well. Casey Miller later admitted to abusing the baby, abuse that led to 7 broken bones. The lawsuit claims DHS tried to cover up that abuse.
Based on what we have alleged, the agency knew that one of the children had sustained multiple fractures, but attempted to suggest an alternative, call it genetic disease, to explain those fractures.
The lawsuit claims the agency also failed to examine the 2 older children in the home for signs of abuse.
Based on your investigation, was there any reason why DHS wouldn't investigate the older 2 children in the home for signs of abuse after they discovered that the youngest child had suffered 7 broken bones as a result of the foster father?
We don't know yet the reason. We allege that the older child and or children in that home would have had more information about the Millers that perhaps DHS did not want to learn about.
And it gets worse. They've even initiated psychologists, psychiatrists, and therapists. Having control over mental health professionals gives them the power to label anyone mentally ill or dangerous. They've even initiated judges, prosecutors, and police officers. That means they can manipulate the legal system to their advantage, which ain't good. They can frame innocent people, protect guilty people, and even cover up crimes, which has been done. The Ninth Circle does not play fair. These assholes are directly responsible for the majority of missing children cases worldwide. They kidnap and exploit thousands of innocent kids every year, using them for their sick and twisted rituals, trafficking them for profit.
Countries with the most missing children. Pay close attention and check where your country appears on the list, because often we just see headlines like this and move on without really noticing, but the numbers are shocking. Italy has 21,951 missing children each year. South Korea reports 25,690 missing children annually. Brazil has around 40,000 missing children each year. France records about 40,989 missing children annually. Russia reports approximately 45,000 missing children every year. Canada follows closely with 45,288 missing children annually. India has about 96,000 missing children each year. Germany sees roughly 100,000 missing children annually. the United States tops the list with about 460,000 missing children annually, which means nearly 2,300 children go missing every single day. So what are the causes of these missing children? Are they being used for something else? Or are they being kidnapped and kept somewhere? Or what exactly is causing this?
Children go missing each year in the world.
10 million.
Fucking not far off. 8 million children go missing. Now, shouldn't we all just drop what we're doing now and just all like huddle up and say, we need to get to the bottom of this?
8 million, that's mad. How many is that a day? Divide that by 365.
112,000 kids in the UK, 460,000 children in the United States, 100,000 children in Germany, 96,000 children in India.
So that's about 300 a day in the UK. She's crazy.
Tell me that there's not something going on there.
Yeah, it's strange.
Tell me that there's not something we don't know about, which is kept a secret and just brushed under the carpet.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know.
This is, you know, when I talk about this back pocket thing,
this first-hand evidence that's coming up, it involves two things really: the culpability of the present Pope Leo, Robert Prevost, in crimes against humanity, in drug trafficking, child trafficking, and Ninth Circle cult ritual killings. And the second part is that he has a lot of accomplices, and you mentioned some of them. Right at the top level of government, business, church. Now, we know that in the past, we had kind of a vague idea that it was linking those different groups, but this new court case brings out for the first time how deeply connected these Ninth Circle cults are with the military, with drug testing, the whole, kind of COVID culture of mind control, bioweaponry, all of that. They were being used. The children in these Ninth Circle cult ceremonies were being used as part of that as well. It wasn't just a bunch of weirdos in red robes doing satanic rituals. They were tied in with big money, with big pharma, the military, government, church, all providing the cover and the means by which this happened. So we've got an even bigger tiger by the tail on this in this case. And to people who've taken us right to grave sites, and they say it's multidimensional energy harvesting, right? And Rome is kind of a center of that energetically, but it happens all over the planet depending on where the energy lines are and everything. And so that'll be part of the evidence too, that discussion. Right?
And the location of these rituals, is it on ley lines, someone asked?
Sometimes, but not always. Like we've, like for example, where Queen Elizabeth and Philip abducted those 10 children, native children at the Kamloops school, and they were never seen again. You trace the latitude of Dead Man's Creek where they vanished, and it goes exactly through the Isle of Wight. And you all know about the Isle of Wight. I mean, it's a kind of a demonic center. So yeah, those, and near just south of Stonehenge as well, and Glastonbury. So I mean, yeah, there are those definite lines, but there's also other places. These Ninth Circle people are just human as well. They have protection, but they screw up sometimes. And there have been occasions like when we broke up that ceremony in Montreal, it was happening beneath Reine de Mont Cathedral in Montreal, Marie Reine de Mont. And yeah, these guys then take off to a place in the country, in the Quebec country. They were later tracked down and found that they'd gone to a safe house where they also tried to do these things. So enough pressure is brought to bear, and these people break, even with all the protection in the world. And so that's why we keep emphasizing now it's time for action. We've got a lot of evidence, a lot of information. Now, how do we stop them? That's the question before the court, right?
And the thing is, a lot of these children are never found because law enforcement is infiltrated and controlled by these people. They manipulate investigations, destroy evidence, and threaten or initiate detectives that end up getting too close. But here's something even more fucked up. They don't just target random children. They often target children from broken families, poor families, or those who are already in the system. Children that they think nobody will miss or care about. It's fucking sick. And sometimes they'll even kidnap children from those who oppose them as punishment or for leverage.
This evil monstrosity of losers engages in ritualistic abuse, human sacrifice, drug trafficking, arms dealing, money laundering through offshore banks, and even pedophile rings involving the highest levels of government. They've also manipulated wars for profit, caused famines to control human populations, and pushed vaccines containing harmful substances to reduce population.
This cult spreads lies and false information using their media outlets to control public opinion and divide the people with race, religion, and political views. Anything to keep us fighting with each other instead of seeing their true evil. They also use deep fake technology and AI to frame innocent people, destroy reputations, and manipulate global events. They're doing it right now.
And in the 1990s, I coined a phrase, problem, reaction, solution, which really describes what a false flag is. Basically, you create a problem covertly, you tell the public the version of that event that you want them to believe, i.e., you lie to them and give them a version of what happened and who was responsible that actually isn't true, because you're looking at stage 2 of problem, reaction, solution at the reaction. And you want people in fear, you want people outraged, you want people furious. And basically, you're looking for the response of something must be done. What are they going to do about it? People become open to solutions that they wouldn't normally support, but hey, you know, we've got to do it now. This has happened. And so you go problem, covertly created, blamed on someone else, reaction, outrage, fury, fear, and then you openly offer the solutions to the problems you have covertly created. I've just described 9/11.
Well, we know that people did know more than we've been told. I mean, somebody shorted the airlines and a bunch of the banks that were affected. Now, this is not a conspiracy theory. It's not a guess. This is publicly available information. Now, the FBI found out the identity of the person or institution that shorted these events on 9/11 and made a huge amount of money by doing that, but never released that information. So why can't we know who clearly had foreknowledge? I mean, if you're shorting American Airlines a week before 9/11, when no one knows it's coming, I think you should have to explain why you did that. And if you're shorting Barclays and banks that were affected by 9/11, why can't we know who you are? These are public markets, by the way. This is not private equity. This is publicly traded equities. So I wonder about that. So clearly, yes, there was foreknowledge. By the way, there was a team, this is according to the FBI, by the way, this is the FBI saying, there was a team of clearly intel-connected foreigners who were arrested after 9/11, as you well know, videotaping the terror attacks. This is, I'm almost verbatim quoting from the FBI assessment of this. And the FBI determined that they apparently had foreknowledge of the attacks. So why can't we know more about that? Exactly. Shut up. That's bigoted. No, this is my country, actually. I know people who died on 9/11. Everything was changed because of it. I promptly went off to the Middle East, just like everyone else in our business. I'm sure you did as well. And then we lost our civil liberties at home. We immediately started torturing people and locking up people for years.
If you know, there's a black looking device on his shirt right here, underneath it. It's right there. You can't deny that. It's literally right there. And within seconds of him speaking, it like projectiles, it explodes onto like around his neck. You can see it right here. Look at that. Look at this, watch, just watch this. Okay, you can see it right there. And watch, there's like texture to where that object is, a device. It shoots upwards to where his neckline is, and then it travels around his neck back to the left side, as you can see right there, to create that effect that he got shot through the neck. And then you see the device wrap around again right here underneath in the where that if only I could point right there, but you could see it come back where it originally came out of. It comes back up. See, you can see the fact that it shot out of his shirt back to where his neck is. Come on, that's not a bullet. It was right there the whole time. It was right there. Look at that. It wraps around his neck. It's a device to use in movies to create the illusion of a gunshot.
Now, each and every one of these individuals was assassinated, murdered, because of their character and their ideology. They went against the grain. Now, you see, with the Ninth Circle, you can't do that. It fucks up their agenda. And it doesn't matter who you are, man, woman, or child. As I've explained, these are heartless, evil people whose main goal is to enslave humanity forever. And each one of these individuals here fought against that. Tried to put a stick in between their spokes. Can you imagine if all of these people were still alive? How much better things would be today? It's crazy to think about. I mean, you got a lot of heavy hitters here, man, that just wanted peace and justice for all. And because of that, they were taken away. They were executed. And it's really sad. I mean, look at this list. This is crazy. I mean, enough's enough, guys. That's why I'm making this episode. Gotta shine a light on these evil, sadistic people. If we don't do it soon, I'm telling you, they're gonna start doing it to us. Well, really, they already had started with ICE. But they're gonna continue to do it until there's no escape for any of us. We can be the change we need. We just need to grow a pair and get her done.
These losers have staged fake terror attacks, false flag events, and they've assassinated anyone who will expose them by making it look like an accident or suicide.
They use mind control techniques on children they kidnap. They brainwash them into becoming loyal soldiers, sex slaves, or even future leaders who will continue their evil and fucked up work.
They use or do satanic rituals on these kids as well. Rituals that involve sexual abuse, torture, and psychological manipulation to break their spirits and their psyche. Most of these kids grow up completely brainwashed, not even remembering who they are or what their life was before they were kidnapped. Some of these mind-controlled children are purposely planted into high-profile positions.
Politicians, CEOs, and religious leaders
to further their agenda so nobody will suspect them of being puppets. They even use these mind-controlled children for their own sick and twisted sexual gratification. They're forced into pornographic videos. They're live streamed to other wealthy perverts, or they're just straight up sold as sex slaves to the highest bidder.
They also engage in human experimentation, testing drugs, biological weapons, and even mind control techniques on innocent people.
They've been known to harvest organs and body parts from live victims for transplants, black market sales, or even their own ritualistic bullshit. This actually happens in hospitals. Many of these individuals are children or teenagers who end up disappearing without a trace. Like I said, they perform live sacrifices, rituals involving the torture and murder of children, often broadcasted to their elite members for entertainment. That's fucked up. The screams of innocent children are used as background music for their high society parties. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, they go ahead and make snuff films. God, that pisses me off.
Remember the movie 8mm? Yeah, like that. Real footage of murders, rapes, and tortures for their private collection or sale to other wealthy deviants. Some of these films feature children or teenagers forced into horrific acts. Sickening.
These assholes even engage in cannibalism and sexual abuse of infants. They believe that consuming the flesh of innocent babies gives them powers and immortality. The rituals are held in secret locations all around the world.
Ancient catacombs, abandoned factories, underground bunkers, luxury villas, and even remote islands.
They have a number of safe houses and ritual sites scattered, like strategically across the world.
Houses who buy off police, who provide the children, get rid of the remains, all that. This witness C was a former member of that support group around the Ninth Circle. He was present at the same ceremony in June 1983 where Emanuela Orlandi and the first witness were witnessed the killing of that Italian man. He confirms their accounts that this man was tortured to death, including by the present Pope, Robert Prevost, and John Paul II. And he claims that there was another sacrificial victim at the same ceremony, a homeless man delivered to the cult by the Italian Carabinieri police. Witness C, the cult administrator, also adds the following. The June 1983 event occurred in the Vatican necropolis, which is directly beneath the obelisk in St. Peter's Square, the so-called Tomb of Lucifer. Now, do you have that map, the schematic map? There was two of them showing the grotto beneath the Vatican. And it's interesting, that's where I, without knowing, I conducted that exorcism in 2009, directly above this thing. And, the hurricane hit the next day, tornado hits Rome the next day, because we're at that energy point. And if you look on the map here, you, kind of halfway down on the left, that's what's called the Tomb of Lucifer. And I think if you go down a bit more, you'll see a colored image of it on the next map down. Oh, there was another one, I think. And anyway, this Tomb U is pre-Constantinian. In other words, it's before the Church of Rome was ever created. It's from Roman times. And in effect, and the scuttlebutt, according to the witnesses and others around the Vatican, is this is a entry point into an interdimensional portal, in effect. It is the way into hell. And that's one of the sources of its power. The witness C says, like all the rituals since 1962, all of the Ninth Circle ceremonies are held right there. The entire event is filmed and stored in the cult's secret archives within the sub-basement storage vaults of the Vatican Library. And of course, as I mentioned, they're used in snuff films. But they're also used to record everyone present so they can be controlled. Anyone who shows up can then be blackmailed and that way ensure their loyalty. And so that, in terms of where we're talking about, we're talking right beneath the Vatican in St. Peter's Square.
All right, let's take a little walk with this gentleman here and see what we find. This guy doesn't live here. I believe he works here. And he stumbled upon this opening that leads down this actually amazingly crafted tunnel. It's all lit up, ready to go. Round the corner. Walking down the hall, walking down the hall, walking down the hall. I mean, first thing I would think of, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? And why is it here? Who the hell uses this? And why do they need it? Don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool craftsmanship, but really, really strange to have on your property. Now I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Fucking lion's head knocker? And you want to tell me there's something nefarious isn't going on here? Bullshit. I guess this was part of an old castle, hidden out in the Catskills Mountains. I mean, why is he filming this? If he lived here, why is he filming his own property and all that? That makes no sense, man. This is really nuts.
It's just an airport. Or that's what they want you to think. Beneath the surface of Denver International Airport lies a $4.8 billion mystery. Finished 5 years late, built in secret, and it's not what the public paid for. Because what was really built here wasn't an airport, it was a fortress. Buried beneath 53 square miles of Colorado land sits one of the most suspicious infrastructures in modern US history. And no one's telling the full story. In this documentary, we uncover what the mainstream won't. Why this airport was really built, what still operates underground, and why so many people believe that when the next global collapse hits, this is where the elite will hide. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a construction site with no civilian explanation. In the late 1980s, Denver already had a perfectly functional airport. Stapleton, busy, profitable, centrally located. But then, plans changed, abruptly. The justification: more room, modern systems, better logistics. But the math never made sense. Entire buildings were constructed and then sealed under concrete. Why build something just to bury it? They told us it was bad planning. But I saw the access points. Those weren't mistakes. Those were bunkers. When questioned, officials claimed budget errors, poor coordination, and an experimental baggage system. But that baggage system, the one blamed for delays, wasn't built until after the sealed floors went in. By 1995, Denver International Airport was complete. Twice as large as Manhattan, 6 runways, more than Los Angeles or JFK, and connected by a spiderweb of underground tunnels no commercial airline could ever need.
We're at the George Thomas Hall coal mines again, House Coal Mines, and I've opened up the other side. I've already been in this once, but now we're back with my device where I could get in a little bit deeper. The post that you're looking at on the right side there, number one, the device is probably at a 30-degree angle to the right, turned to the right, first of all, and the camera's turned slightly. So that dark area behind the post, in my opinion, leads over to the mine opening that we opened up about a month ago.
Well, would you look at that? Doesn't this look nice? It's beautiful. Look at those stairs. Look at that living room. You know, these rich elite cultists are really good at hiding their shit. But they're also extremely fucked in the head. Rituals go on here too, guys. It's not another house for miles. All by yourself out here. Living it up and killing little kids.
Now, I just showed you a few places where this cult does their shit. This is where they bring children and teenagers and whoever else they decide to. I mean, you can deny it all you want. You don't have to believe me. But I know it within myself to be true. You got to put yourself in these people's position, although it is hard. If you had all the money in the world, and you knew and had friends of the same ilk, and you believe that this is the only life you have, so make it a good one, which is what they believe. They don't believe in a God. They believe this is the only life there is, and they got to make it a good one. So, I mean, I'm going to leave it up to you, whether you want to pull your head out of your ass and really see what's going on here, or go back to sleep in your head and pretend life's great and none of this is happening.
Look here. bunkers in the mountains in Switzerland. Underground bunkers in Germany.
They have high-ranking members and dedicated sites in almost every major country, guys. That means they can go anywhere and do this sick shit. I mean, of course, they have their regular designated spots like the Vatican. Jeffrey Epstein's Island was one of them. But these people have thought this through strategically to the point where they can do these things and cover it up and nobody knows. Although it's starting to come out, man. That's why I'm doing this.
Some of their most important rituals happen aboard luxurious cruise ships or private yachts. Crazy.
These floating palaces allow them to bring their perverted parties into international waters where they won't be detected or arrested. They also use islands that they own or that they have influence over to do this shit. I mean, does Jeffrey Epstein ring a bell at all? Like I said,
Epstein was a high-ranking member of the Ninth Circle, and his private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands was used for many of their rituals and parties. In fact, Epstein's Island was one of the most active Ninth Circle ritual sites in the world. Pretty crazy, huh? Plus, beneath Washington, D.C., there's an extensive network of underground tunnels connecting government buildings, including the White House, Capitol Building, and various congressional offices. These tunnels are perfect for their evil activities. Not just to transport victims, but also for private rituals and meetings away from prying eyes. Many of these tunnels have hidden entrances and exits scattered throughout the city. Old subway stations, abandoned buildings, even secret doors in government buildings. Some even lead to the Pentagon and other high security facilities.
there are also rumors that there are chambers and rooms dedicated to their rituals in these underground tunnels. Rooms equipped with special tables, drains for cleaning up, and soundproofing to muffle the screams, and even cameras for live streaming their sick acts. The tunnels below DC are said to be their most important base of operations. From there, they can easily influence politicians, arrange global deals, and carry out their darkest deeds without public scrutiny. Some believe there's a secret chamber or bunker beneath the White House itself, where the most powerful members of the Ninth Circle conduct their most private and protected rituals. Now, just imagine the president, the vice president, and other high-ranking officials unwittingly walking above a chamber of horrors. That is fucked up. Well, thanks guys for hanging with me for a little over an hour now. It's gotta be long so I can explain this shit to you. But yes, thank you for watching the show, and like, share,
Subscribe.
and subscribe. I also want to thank Trix for helping narrate some of this stuff for me. It takes a while to do an episode
Sure
like
does.
this, so thank you, Trix.
You're welcome, Jeremy. This was a fucked up episode.
Really?
Yes, you know to be true.
Are you having fun, bud?
Yeah, I'm having fun. This is good.
Well, that's great.
All right. So let's go.
You heard him. Out.